Check, check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Checkity check. Check, check. 1, 2. Checkity check. 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 Check. All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Oh, let's change to my microphone. Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me now? All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Oh, let's change to my microphone. Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me now? All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Wow, there's an echo in the room. Hold on. Hello. All right, much better. Okay, well, looking good, everybody. Thank you for coming in on a Monday evening. I know we had quite the weekend here in the States, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. But I think I apologize if the theme will infiltrate this lesson. But I think it is also important in everything we do to be cognizant of what's going on around us. So consider this a lightly themed evening of playing ukulele and working on what I think is truly a valuable thing on the ukulele, which is the ability to move the major scale shape and thus the Mixolydian shape all around the fretboard. So it's a pretty simple concept, and so by doing that, we'll be able to play a lot of these songs out of, if you've been following the show, out of one of my favorite packets, and unfortunately one of my oftenly used packets, Songs for Peace. So this is available online, but of course I'll put the chords up for you. This packet, Songs for Peace, has a lot of great songs, a lot of simple songs, a couple of complicated ones, all in different keys, and every song we do, we'll talk about what you would do in a solo, and we will take solos on a lot of these songs to kind of reinforce what we're learning. So Let me get a quick sound check. Can you guys hit your space bar or your unmute button and say what's up to the room? Everybody
What's
say
up?
what's
What's up, Lenny?
That's great.
Hey.
How are you doing,
Yes,
Lenny?
yes. All right.
What's up, Lenny?
Woohoo! Sounding good, y'all. So,
Nice.
if you were here on Friday or you were here on any of the other broadcasts, you know that I no longer have unmuting powers. You
Yeah.
know, if you think the government's taking away from stuff from you, well, Zoom is also taking away stuff from you. Is the ability to unmute everybody. But actually, I think it's quite poignant that they did that because it does make sense. Like, you shouldn't be able to unmute someone who's like out of the room and then they're listening to the radio and you can unmute them. That's kind of messed up. So every time I try to do the all clapping applause, I'll get this dialogue of everybody gets to ask to unmute themselves. It's kind of, well, actually, I don't even have that anymore. So I can only mute everybody, and then I just have to ask you to unmute yourselves if you want to cheer. But that's no worries. All right, who is this? All right. Well, looks like we're set up over here. No haters, no Zoom bombers in here, I think. If you see someone weird come up in the participants, send me a message. I wouldn't be surprised if something crazy like that happened, because even though we are a small community, you just never know. So be vigilant, everybody, as we try to spread the love with a little ukulele into the world. All right, everything sounds good on my end. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's see if everybody hears that still. It's still going. I've had some awkward situations where my loop pedal didn't work and then it was just silence for everybody. So trying to do a little sound check there. And looks like we are, let me check my view here. Lenny and the audience. Oh man, you guys look great. Let's see what it looks like on Facebook. Did I get everybody? Yeah, man, this is dope. All right, so we're about to go. Oh, I gotta write stuff. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'm never prepared for this. One of these days. I did send an email out, and apparently you got it because you have the new password. We are supporting the movement, and I have that link just to there's a lot of news outlets that are reporting how you can help the people who need the help in terms of support, whether it's financial or how you can help in your community, how you can write your congressperson, etc. And so I've pasted that. A few ways you can help. And then, let's see, download songs for peace. And then we will get started with our classic song, Stand By Me, if you want to get that out. But I will put it up. Just to get warmed up on that C major scale, try to remember how it's done with the C major, with that home plate. If you watched that workshop, a couple of extra notes in the middle of your ukulele, and the G Mixolydian scale, all of these things are going to be in play today, and we'll talk a lot about it throughout the night. So let's see, download songs for peace. Hello. Everybody say hi to Aurelia. What's up? You gonna strum with us? They're saying hi to you. You gonna strum with us?
Hi, Aurelia. Get your ukulele out,
I know.
sweetheart.
Where's your uke?
Where's your ukulele?
Love it.
Come play with Auntie C.
There we go. So
Save
fun.
your water. I already lost my run.
Galeni.com. All right. Note to self. Actually have this prepared beforehand. All right. It looks good. Looks like we sound good. And we are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Everybody make some noise.
Hey, Lenny. Hey, Lenny. Hey,
Da, 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 da. Hello, everybody. Live from Oakland, California. It's Monday Night Ukulele with Ukulele. Thank you, everybody. Give it up for the Zoom ukulele players jamming out here today. Of course, we celebrate the end of a crazy, crazy weekend. But here we are. We're still making music. We're still spreading the positive vibrations. And we strum in solidarity. So I did drop a link if you're interested in a couple of ways you can help the movement that's going around to end racism, to join the, so that we can join the Black Lives Matter movement in solidarity any way we can. And it's important to be an ally for the people who are protesting to end police brutality and to ultimately end racism. Who knows when or if that will happen, but with the ukulele, we know that we can at least strum and spread some love around while we're playing music. So we're going to be doing some movable scales today in honor of the movement that is going around. I know, it's a pun, horrible dad joke, but I figured it's a great topic to talk about any day of the week, and it just kind of came to me that we would be doing both of these things. So we're going to get right to it with one of our hit singles. This one is going to be Stand By Me, and I will go ahead and put that up right now on the screen. And we'll see if I can also DJ properly, putting the music up. I'm doing the keyboard DJ job of running the OBS from my computer. If you watched on Friday, you know, I probably batted about 200. I did okay, but we're going to share these chords up on the screen. Got to get back to OBS. Got to flash them to you guys. Oh, sick. And those of you on Facebook, I know I miss you all a lot, but please do respond if you can't hear something or can't see something. We're trying to do our best to make sure the display works for you. But you can always join the Zoom room and have complete control of your ukulele destiny here. All right, let's get going. The Stand By Me, of course. Oop, no, that's not what I want. See, already, there it goes. There goes my perfect record. With this, we have a couple of scales that we're going to be involved with. We have the C major, which I'm going to do very shorthand here, just to show what numbers are important. So it's not even going to really look like a scale. What the heck? I guess I can do some of this for you. There we go. I can make it happen. 023, 013, and then 02. Okay, that's the base C scale. So as you're practicing this, we're memorizing based on the 3 strings. So as you learn, you can isolate 1 string at a time. On the A string, just remember 023 over and over and over again until you master that 023. And then go on to the next string, 013, which is in the home area, you're just going 2nd finger on 2nd fret, 3rd finger on 3rd fret. So now 013, open, index, ring, open, index, ring, and memorize. Try to be, finger disciplined, because that's going to pay off, especially in today's lesson as we move up and down the fretboard. If you memorize fingers very well, you'll get far in this ukulele game of playing in many keys. Okay, so that's the C major scale. Master it, and in fact, if you're a beginner and you want to take away one thing today, it would be the C major scale. Just memorize it, play it up and down. Really, again, try to master the C major scale, because everything will come out of it. Every new technique that we talk about is coming out of the C major scale. I didn't learn this in college. Like in college, that's what they said. You know, that's what they told me. They were like, "You should be able to play all your major scales very well." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Oh yeah, who spotted the mistake? You should be able to, know all of your scales. It's really valuable. If you know every single major scale, then you really know a lot about how you're going to go forward with playing music in different keys. So it starts with the major scale. So here's C major, and this one on the right, anybody, buzzword, G Mixolydian. And these are the two. These are, I'm not gonna go into power home plate yet. Maybe we'll add it into the next one. But I feel like 15 minutes into a workshop and we haven't even played ukulele yet. Let's get going. All right, so stand by me. C, A minor, F, G7. That's why we love it. 2, 3, C. A minor. F one time, go. G7. C chord. C again, ready, and A minor. G, C. C again, go. A minor. Here's F. All right, let's sing a couple and then we'll take our little solo break here. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by. Thank you, friends. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. All right. Yeah, very loud and lots of bass. We're gonna do some control over here. Yeah, someone, I'm not gonna say who, said turn up the volume, so I did. And now you're saying turn it back, so I did. Let's see, is that better? Let's see. I mean, it sounds good in my ears. All right, so my voice is a little soft, is what people say, so I can turn that up. Voice is low. 1, 2, 1, 2. How's that, ladies and gentlemen? Is that better? All right. I love it. Feedback on the spot. Well, I just wanted you guys to sing. That's why I turned my voice down. You know, it's like I kind of dominate the conversation around here, so I just want to make sure y'all can hear yourself at home. No excuses. All right. Cool. So hopefully that's a little better. So now we have these two scales. The first thing to do is to master that C major. So while you're kind of trying to take a solo, take a little minute to just hear 0, 2, 3. it's got its own kind of melody, its own character. Now we're going to go to 013. It's going to be a little different in the middle. Now the O2 is just a small addition, but completes the scale. So yeah, take a little C major scale for this next round. If you feel good about that, you can move on. I will point out one more thing about the scale here, and that is, where is my highlighter? So the outsides of this scale is actually an important shape to start to notice, especially when we change scales. This is called the pentatonic scale. If we just play the outsides, 03, 03, 02. An easier way to, get a solo in and not worry about too many notes. This is kind of what the middle school jazz band sounds like often. But you could get by with these 5 notes. 5 notes, pentatonic scale. And so you can play with the rhythms and kind of isolate these notes separately, make your different patterns. All right, let's move on to the G Mixolydian. Point our finger on 7. Remember, I like talking this to my my beginner students. Everyone always asks, how do you get to the 7th fret? And I say, check out the dots. And they go, there are dots on the ukulele. There it is, the 7th fret, ladies and gentlemen. So 7, 8, 10, index, middle, pinky. And again, you'll want to remember this. You'll want to remember this because the 7, 8, 10, and I'll zoom in for those of you who are on mobile devices. I apologize, you're burning your eyes out. So 7, 8, 10. Index, middle, pinky. That is going to be huge for today. And the E string, same. And 7, 9, index ring. If you've been at this for a while with me and you're wondering what to do next, since you know the G Mixolydian scale, try certain patterns. Like what I just did was a 3 notes. It's like a little sequence. I'm going 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8. Find even mathematical ways to play the music in a different order than just up and down. And you will get better at controlling the notes. Again, you will start to develop more skills in being able to do it. One thing to note about G Mixolydian is the important notes are in different places. So one of the important notes is the 8. That's actually a C. That's the whole note. And then 7 and 10 are also important. That's the C major scale. 7 completes the C major scale. So, like think about what are the important notes and work your ways around it. Try to memorize those notes. 8 always sounds good. 7 always sounds good. And then start to develop your riffs around encircling those notes. That's kind of the key to part of the solo. All right, if you haven't taken a solo by now, you were listening to Lenny, take one more. Feel it out. I'm going to let Tommy take this one. Plug Tommy in. Tommy's been waiting to play. Oh, yeah. electric guitar. Now let's get the plain tomatone. We're gonna go major. If the sky, back to the show, if the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, and rock it. And one time. All right, unmute yourselves one time. Clap it out for our first little ditty. Thank you. And somebody says they still hear somebody, so I'll try to be better about that. Muting everybody. Oh, I didn't even let you. Man, I did this again. One more time. Unmute yourselves and make some noise. Much better. Oh, man. I'm going to get this. By week 10 of quarantine, God forbid we get all the way there. By week 10, I will have the muting and the unmuting down. I promise you. All right, get some questions about this. Okay, so this is important here. Karen asks, will the G Mixolydian work for any song in C, or is it more versatile? So generally speaking, with these two scales, they're both related to the key of C. And again, I'll bring this back to the forefront here. Let me grab this real quick. Yeah, so when you're doing these scales, and the reason why I bring these specific scales to the table is because they are workable in the key of C. And you know, as you're improvising and you kind of gain scale achievements, you learn a new scale. It's like one of those video games. You get the stars to earn your next scale. As you gain more scales, the idea is that you find out the practical way to use them. So are there other ways to use the Mixolydian scale? Possibly. You know, there are other ways situations where you might want to go back to the G Mixolydian scale. But for all intents and purposes and for what we do on the ukulele generally, we generally want to just stay on playing by the key. You know, if I'm in the key of C major, then the scales you use are C major and G Mixolydian. And you start to remember that. So we're going to do a lot of work to get that ingrained into your mind, that there are two scales that you want to find for every song that you do. And once you find them, you'll have a good you'll have a good strategy to making good sounds when you take a solo. So let's get a doc going here. What's up, doc? Where's my docs? Open office. All right. So where were we? We got the. This is not gonna work. All right. I will do it again for you, and I've done this many times, but that's okay. I like to think of myself as a lecturer that always just shows up to class with an empty whiteboard, and I get to talk about scales. Okay, so movable scales. So start with the C major scale for your kind of base reference. Again, we have O, 2, 3, O, 1, 3, and O2. Oh, you know what? I will want to, that's why I'm doing this, because I do want to show it separately, because this will answer some of those questions that you have about C major Mixolydian. So, sorry if I sound like a broken record, but this is what we do. We just reinforce. All right, so we got C major. C major is C, D, let's put in a G string. You didn't cut off your G. If anybody have watched, I was trying to shout this out on my Facebook. Roy Sakuma, who wrote one of the best books for ukulele, Treasury of Ukulele Chords. He was on Ukulele Friends Hawaii. If you haven't already followed the Facebook group, they have just great chats with Hawaiian musicians. Like, these are old school, like the legends of ukulele and all in Hawaii. And they just talk about how it was, how it came to be. It's amazing. It's like free education. Do check it out. Brian Tolentino is at the charge, Brittany Paiva. They kind of lead each week. Great discussions. And they had one interesting story about how Jake Shimabukuro, oh, I realize I'm frozen on Facebook. Yes, of course I would. Okay. Oh, no. All right, let me see if I can do this quickly, guys. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I didn't even think about this. All right, duplicate. Rename. Word. I can do this, guys. Where is it? Wow, this is funny. There it is. Ha-ha! Oh, man. So ridiculous. All right, so I got to take this out. Live on the spot. This is how you know it's live, folks. It's like, and then you guys don't really know what's going on right now, but I'm trying to get this onto OBS. I'm trying to get it to the movie. All right, something like that. Thank you for being patient today. Not that you're not patient other days. Oh yeah, and I can do this. Aha! I'm getting good, guys. Watch out. Watch out, TV. Coming for you. All right, so we got the movable scales. And every movable scale you can think of, every scale you can think of having numbers 1 through 8. This is how you want to label them. Think about a painter, and a painter has great vision, but if they had no names for colors, it would be really hard to do their job. This is what numbers do for you. If you learn scales and you also learn the numbers as you're learning them, now you have a basis to which the rest of the theory can make sense. So as you're practicing C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Singing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even when you're kind of noodling to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 7, 6, 7, 8, 5, 4, 3. Start to learn how to connect your voice. As much as you like to say, I'm not a singer, try to connect your voice to this information and also the numbers. It's going to pay off in the future. All right, so as we go to the Mixolydian now, we have a different set of numbers. We have 7, 9, which I'll explain in a moment, 7, 8, 10, and 7, 8, 10. And music nerds know that this starts on the G because it's the G Mixolydian, but it is the exact same notes that are encountered in the C major scale. So we just started on a different note and went on. Oh, that's why I was like, I wanted to bring my melodica out, not just to show off my brand new Hammond melodica. This is the best. And Hammond doesn't call it a melodica, they call it a melodian, so be aware. So here's our piano. It starts on C. You can play this along with me, C major. C. That's C to C. That's what we just played on our ukulele. But if I start on G, it starts higher. And that's why that seventh note sounds different, because it's not the same scale. It's a different scale altogether, but we're playing all of the white keys. As we, the white keys are the key of C major, but as we change to different keys, it's not going to be all the white keys anymore. It's very diverse, the piano. So, you can consider the following, that when we jam, and this is why you can sit at the piano, if someone's playing Stand By Me, you can sit at a piano and go like this, and it sounds good because all the notes in the major scale are given to you with the white keys. But you can't do that if someone's in a different key. Nevertheless, this is the handful of notes that work, so much like you're noodling only these notes when you play the ukulele, then when when someone plays behind you, everything sounds good. In the same way that if I just went like this with all the white keys, it would kind of sound decent. But the Mixolydian always starts on the fifth note of the scale, and the numbers are 5, 6, 7, and then I put 1 because 8 does not serve as much of a purpose as 1 serves a purpose. 1 and 8 are the same note. Notice 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I was playing When the Saints Go Marching In, When the Saints Go Marching In is 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 3, 2. We won't go on, but that's the first part. So if I started on C major, I'd go open, 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 1, 3. And the same thing, open, open, 1, 3. 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 3, 2. And now I can do the Mixolydian. I can start on the 8, and I can play 8, 7, 8, 10. 8, 7, 8, 10. 8, 7, 8, 10. 7, 8, 7, 10. And that's the same notes. So I have the lower octave, 1 to 5, and I have the higher octave. And that's where they connect. That's like the end of the left side starts here for the right side. So they're kind of overlapping scales. And once you realize that, then you're just playing with this set of basically, how many? 12 notes. Yeah, you're playing with 12 notes left to right. You just happen to have to go from major and Mixolydian, you're bouncing back and forth. Okay, clear as mud. Any questions so far? Let's go back to the room here. And, where did my room go? There you are. Okay, I'll allow you to unmute any. you may speak if so desired. Let me just find the button. All right. Anybody have any questions? You can unmute and ask a question, or I see some in the chat, so I can.
Lenny,
Yes.
when we played Stand By Me, you highlighted some of the notes in yellow. What were those?
Oh, yeah. So, let's go back there really quick. Great question. Thank you for that. So in this, I highlighted the kind of the important notes, which I will, let's put that, where did it go? Music. It's a hot mess over here right now. Hold on. Oh, man. I'm getting there. Okay. So over here, I highlighted a couple of the notes that are just important. So this is the 1, the 3, and the 5. And this is also 5. And then these ones highlighted here are a different kind of subset of the scale that's easier jam notes. It's called C major pentatonic. So it's just to guide you as you're soloing, because sometimes it can just seem like, much like the piano. Okay, I got all these notes, but which ones should I really be playing a lot? C. You should find C. You should find C and play it a lot. That one. It's like you should find E and play that a lot. That one. with the ukulele, you want to find these different places. Okay. All right. Other questions?
Yeah, Lenny, is there
Yeah, Marianne.
some sort of, so this is the G Mixolydian can mix with the C major scale. Is there some sort of a formula for figuring out which modal scale would work with, say, the D major scale or any of the others?
Hitting the nail on the head. That's where we're going next. And the long story short of it,
good.
just so that you have an idea, is that it's always going to be the fifth note. So just like we looked at this diagram right here. Yeah. I love this game. This game I play with myself. Once you get to the fifth note, in your scale, you say, okay, that's G. That's going to be the name of your scale. And in fact, you're just going to pull from the major scale because remember, it's the same set of notes. So I can literally go G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then that becomes my scale. And there's a handy chart that I like to show everybody that's a little bit of an eyesore, but as you gain these skills, the chart really helps. If you ever looked at a circle of fifths chart or a scale chart or a chord chart, I love the organization of it because it allows for this information to play out really nicely. Yeah, great questions. All right, what else? What else can I answer for you? And then someone said 7, 9, 10 on the A string. Yes, this is a G Mixolydian scale, so that's why it sounds and looks different. It's not a major scale. Hee hee. Put your nerd glasses on. I love this. Oh, and thank you, Jeff, because, see, I totally got sidetracked. Okay, so the end of the story, because I left out the G string. So Roy Sakuma was on the call talking about Herb Ota, or Ota-san, which is Herb Ota Jr.'s dad, who is like legendary musician. And what we learn in the talk, as Roy's talking about him, is like, not only is he an ukulele musician, he's just a musician's musician. Like, he plays everything, does everything, arranges, does all sorts of stuff. So Herb Ota-san is great. Roy Sakuma learned from him, really cool. And who else was on the call but Jake Shimabukuro? And Jake, they were talking about a story where Jake went into the store that Herb Ota Jr. was teaching at and started playing a little bit, and Herb Ota Jr. was like, just get out. Just go. Like, it was like in the middle of a lesson or something, and he was like, just go. Like, you're done. Get out of here. What are you even doing here? And but Jake still took lessons at that store from a lady, I forget if her name was Tracy. I didn't get the full story. I had to leave the talk early. I should re-listen to it. It's all available on Facebook, Ukulele Friends Hawaii. And so they start talking about how Jake learned, and the first thing that they did as they were teaching Jake was they cut off his A string. Like, literally, his teacher cut off the A string so that he could only play with the top 3 strings. I know it's a little different than the situation, but that makes a lot of sense because, the A string is just the melody. Like, you don't really learn that much when you're playing chord melody with the A string. The A string is kind of given. So how much can you do with just the top 3 strings to really make the music happen? And it does show in Jake's playing a lot. Like, Jake does really take advantage of those top 3 strings, does a lot of chords with just the 3 strings alone, leaving out the A string. So I thought, man, blowing my mind. I'm not going to cut any of my A strings. Don't have the money for that. But that's very interesting. It's almost like, the blindfolding when you're learning how to wield a lightsaber. So that's the Jake story. All right, everyone got their C major and G Mixolydian scales down? I hope you do. Remember, noodling is totally allowed in a Zoom workshop. So go ahead and noodle the whole time. We don't care. All right. Onwards. Okay, so let's talk about this, and then I'll show you the master plan. Okay, just a little bit of a theory. I like to tie this loose end because I don't talk about this that much, but since we are primarily talking about movable scales today, it's probably important that we just talk about scales in general. So what is a major scale anyway? First off, the kind of Western music is broken up into 12 tones. It's a 12-tone system. And when we play all of them in a row, we call that the chromatic scale. So, it's important to kind of know this as a whole anyway. And there's, we have the piano, again, like I said. So we start here. And notice that the black keys are kind of in this kind of organized fashion where there's 2 in a row and there's 3 in a row, and this creates a typography of what we talk about with notes. So the first note is C, and then the second white note is D. So all of these notes here are called natural notes. I know, we're talking about racial justice. This is not really the best subject. But the C and the D are without any extra designation. It's the black keys that have the extra designation. We call this accidental. Again, that's kind of wrong. But here we go. When you talk about the black keys, they are talked about based on what their neighbors are. So this black key is between C and D. We can either call it C sharp or D flat, and that's where we get that system. So if we go up and up and up, little key by little key, little key by little key, we get this set of notes. We extract all that information. We get C, C sharp. But first I'm going to go with just sharps, D sharp, E, and then E and F are next to each other. That comes with the typography of the piano. The E and the F are next to each other. And then we have F sharp, G. Yes?
I'm making something.
What are you making?
I'm making potato.
Potato? You making a potato? I think it's potato. All right. Aurelia San Jose, ladies and gentlemen. Where were we? She knew I was talking about the A note. A sharp, B, and B and C are also next to each other. So these also have alternate names because of the neighbors. We said C and D. So D flat and E flat. And then there's no neighbor between E and F. And then between here, we also call it G flat. We also call it A flat and B flat. So these notes are actually the same. These 2 notes right here. Okay. So we have our little map of what we're looking at. Now, when we talk about a major scale, we talk about 2 things. We talk about whole steps and half steps. Halp steps. Help? So a whole step is what happens when we go 2 notes. So C to D is a whole step. D to E, because it crosses over 2 notes, is a whole step. But if we're going by one little itty-bitty step at a time, that's called a half step. So 1 half step, and then 1 whole step is worth 2 half steps. I guess that makes sense. 2 halves make a whole. So there is an order of major scale, and it is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Everybody say it. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Again, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. You just say that over and over again, you'll remember. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Kind of sounds like my phone number growing up. Boop, 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 boop. That's what my phone number sounded like. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. All right? Whatever gets you to remember things. So the C major scale, if we just looked at it, that's what's happening. I got a whole step because that's 2. I got a whole step. Then I got a half step because E and F, there's no neighbor. And then whole, 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 half. So every scale that we talk about has that. So guess what? I'm going to show off my music degree. This is what it gets me to do. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. This would be your homework assignment, but I'm not going to assign any homework in this workshop. is for you to figure out, based on the formula, what is every major scale. Now, I did a special, particularly special order in which to do it, which is called we call it the circle of fifths. And the key important thing, I know everyone's like, do I have to learn the circle of fifths to learn ukulele? No, but the order does tell you what is the harder key. G, we like G. D, we like D. When we start getting to keys of A and E, we're like, no, please don't play in those keys. That's because it goes in order of more sharps. G has 1 sharp, and then we get 2 sharps, and then we get 3 sharps, and so on, and it gets harder and harder. The flat side of things, if you think about F, which we all hate B flat, so we basically don't do it at all, it goes like this. And then G, A, B, C, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, 2 flats. And then by this point, you're like, I really don't want to play any more flat notes on my ukulele, so I'm just going to skip the rest of these keys. But that's your order. There's some flats, there's some sharps, and now we have the major scales written out. Now, it's not necessarily important for you to memorize that, and we have the internet, we have all our music laid out in front of us. So really, it's, it doesn't really matter to us at all. Oh yeah, and I just realized I just left everybody hanging on Facebook, so this is what I've been writing. Goodness gracious. The screen is frozen on Facebook again. I'm sorry, Rose, I apologize. Just realized that. Okay, so that is all the major scales, and that is the chromatic scale as well. But we're going to go straight to the big reveal, which is my intermediate ukulele cheat sheet. I made this for my intermediate class, and I think it's nice to have a desktop reference, so that you can access all this information and be able to use it when you need it. So let's see, where did I go with that? Yeah. Gotta figure this out yet. So see at the bottom, I put the notes on the C string, and that's gonna be important, but notice that these notes right here, that is the chromatic scale that we talked about. Ooh, C, C sharp, D flat. And now this is the big reveal. Look at this crazy chart. This is all the major scales written out for you. Why do you need this? Right now, you really only need those 2 bits of information to get 2 things down. One is just to remember what the 5th note is for every scale. So if I go C, what's the 5th note? G. If I go G, what's the 5th note? D. D, what's the 5th note? A. A, what's the 5th note? E. E, what's the 5th note? B. And we'll just start with sharps. Oh, actually, we will do F because we're going to play an F a little bit. So F and C. This is an important relationship that you must always remember, 1 and 5. In fact, we can do this separately. If we want to play the hokey pokey is all 1 chords and 5 chords. So I could play hokey pokey in C. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot G, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I could also do it with G and D. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot D, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Then I could go to D. You put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, put your left hand A, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. So this, this reference also kind of lets you look at the chords in a more relationship way, once you kind of know all these chords and where to play them. But in terms of the major scales in the Mixolydian, if you want to know what Mixolydian scale comes out of what major, you just look at this. D major, if I'm playing a D major song, I'm going to play the D major scale, and I'm also going to play the A major scale. If I'm playing a song in G, I'm going to play the G major scale and D. If I'm playing in the key of F, then I'm going to play the F major scale, and then I'm going to play the C Mixolydian scale. And you might wonder, well, where do I find those scales, though? Now that I know what scales to look for, do I have to look them up anywhere? The answer is, once you learn how to do a movable scale, you just look at this magic box right here, notes on the C string, and that becomes where you put your scale. So let's see if, let's do One Love. So let's see. Actually, let me scoot back and let me see what other songs I put in here. I'm thinking One Love is going to be a good one. Yeah, let's go One Love. Now, One Love in this particular book is in the key of D, 17. All right, D, A, G, and there is a B minor, but you can cheat with the B minor 7. All right, so let's do a little playing again. I realize when our fingers have stopped playing, so let's get back into it here and let's play a little One Love. Why don't you play the first 2 lines without singing, and then we'll go through it together. D, 2, and this is reggae strum, so D and a chuck, D, and you can swing it, find a different strum pattern if you want. G and D and A and the D. Sing. One love, A, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying, one love. Hear the children crying, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright. Oh, let them all pass all their dirty remarks. There is one question I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own beliefs? Everybody now. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. As it was in the beginning, one love, so shall it be in the end. One heart, give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright. Nice job, everybody. So now, we're in the key of D. What do? First thing is, we have to use the movable major scale. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. This is what it looks like. I'll highlight this. And the numbers refer to the numbers of the scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's all going to be index, ring, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. So hopefully that makes sense so far. Now, where do we put it? We got to look at our chart used for movable scales. Where's D? It's on the 2nd fret. So put your pointer on the 2nd fret of the C string. That's 1. Now put your ring finger on the C string. And that's 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, stay there. Don't move. Now we follow the picture. Index, 1, ring, 2. Index, 3. Middle, 4. Pinky, 5. Index, 6. Ring, 7. Pinky, 8. in this, if you might notice how the notes are kind of staggered, it's exactly the same as a C major scale. We got a long jump, a short, and then a long, and a long, and then a short. So index ring, index pink, middle pinky, index ring pinky. Take a solo. That is the major scale in the key of D. You just put your index finger on the C string, and that's really all you need to know. Now, some of you are like, well, I mastered that, but I don't really like the sound of that scale. Well, you can also move the Mixolydian scale. Now, I don't have it over here necessarily, but we know, hopefully by now, that the Mixolydian scale is the same. It's just this note moves over to the 6. The 7 moves over to the 6. So instead of going 7, you're gonna go 7 somewhere here. In fact, I bet I could do that if I try, if I believe in myself. There we go. So now it is a Mixolydian, and hopefully I just don't forget that that's what I did. All right, so now it's Mixolydian. Now you might ask, where do I play the Mixolydian? Let's check our handy dandy chart. And do you remember what the Mixolydian is supposed to be? D, and I need the A Mixolydian. A Mixolydian, fret 9. Put your pointer on 9. And now, play this new scale. Index ring. Index middle pinky. Index middle pinky. This is thanks and praise to the Lord. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, let them all pass. Let them all pass all their dirty remarks. There is one question I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own beliefs, saying, one love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright. Alright, second fret. Index ring, 2-4. E string, 2-3-5, index middle pinky. A string, index ring pinky. Oh, now we gotta change it back. So there's your major scale, second fret, rock it. If you're adventurous, jump to 9. And then you gotta change that 7 to move it. You gotta play on the 9th fret. Let's get together and let's finish this out. Feel alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright. All right, nice work, everybody. Let's get back to this room over here and stop. Nice. Yeah. Everybody make some noise for yourselves one time. Clap it up. Hey, you can unmute yourself. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we successfully moved. We successfully moved everything to the second fret or the D string. We'll maybe do one more example, and then we'll have the rest of the time for questions and clarifications, especially opening questions up to anybody who has tech questions from last Monday. Shout out to my friends Craig Chi, Stephen Espanola, Ben An, and Cynthia Lin for coming out to the show last week. And it was a blast just talking, just really scratching the surface, the tip of the iceberg on this whole tech world that we're living now. And as you can see, as I'm DJing what's going on, you know, I'm just getting into the thick of it myself, learning how to use this video program OBS. And it's fun. I mean, like, honestly, I could still do it very simply, you know, going from Zoom to Facebook. It was unreliable. That's why I decided to go with OBS. You know, it's like, I could get really, really crazy and try to do crazy things like Craig and Sarah's Mini Fest if I wanted to. I'm kind of slowly kind of inching in that direction. So thanks for, again, for your patience. But as you can unmute yourself, any questions about what we just talked about? And I know we did it super fast. We just went from C major, and now we are moving to D major. And so just to recap, we are using the major scale shape on the second fret. And this is a particular scale that you want to memorize. It's called the Movable Major Scale. And again, if you go to the Monday night folder, you can download this sheet called the Intermediate Cheat Sheet. And it has all that information that you can look at. But basically, you just want to memorize C string, index ring, E string, index middle pinky, A string, index ring pinky. I played cello growing up, and there were certain ways that we did things on, you know, we used our fingers to play like, you know, 4 separate notes. But violinists actually do it a different way than cello players. And when I had to transition to playing the violin, one thing they do commonly between the index and the third finger. Index and the third finger is always the same distance. But the middle finger either sticks to your index or it sticks to your ring. And that's how you play the violin. You memorize where index and third finger are, and then second finger knows that it'll either squeeze here or squeeze there. If you're playing Tommy tone, you do the same thing. See, I stick my 2 fingers together. In ukulele, you're either going to do index middle pinky or index ring pinky. And so you think about which ones are close together. If the first 2 notes are close together, index middle. If the second 2 notes are close together, index ring. So when you're doing major scale, index ring, boom. Index middle pinky, boom. Index ring pinky. That's all you have to remember to do a major scale on the ukulele. Just those three strings. Make sure you start on the C string. Pick any note to start on. And this is the best part. We'll do more questions. But I like to show off my major scale skills.
Can you move over? We can't see your hand.
Huh?
Can you move to the?
Oh, yeah.
finger?
Sorry. I
Right.
got it. Yeah, because I have 2 cameras. There's index ring, index middle pinky, index ring. Reflexes. Hard to break a bad habit. So there I am just on the first fret, and I'm memorizing index ring, index middle pinky, index ring pinky. And I just memorize that same mantra over and over. Index ring, index middle pinky, index, ring, pinky. And if you need exercises at home, if this is hard for you, doing 1, 2, 3, 4 on every string. Also a very valid exercise. And then you can mash that up any way you want. So you can do 1, 3, 2, 4. 4, 1, 2, 3. Pick any permutation of those 4 notes, practice that every day, and you'll just be like, it's like you had an IV drip into your ukulele, or vice versa. I don't know which way it would go. But it would just, you kind of plug in all those things so that you can memorize finger formations. And if we're just talking about the major scale, so we're just talking about the major scale now. When we look at this sheet again,
Lenny, where did you say the sheet was?
should be in the tinyurl.com/Monday Night Uke. And if it's not there, I'll put it in by the end of today. But
Okay, thank you.
yeah, should be in there. Yeah, the link is in the mailing list. So once I have that information, and I know I can do it on every fret. And again, this is my show-offy / very useful exercise. Do it on every fret. 4, 5. Once I can execute a major scale on every fret, then I just go, what key? Oh, key of A, no problem. Here's the 9th fret. And I just let my pointer finger dictate where we're all gonna go, and then I just, like clockwork, do the major scale there. The good news is, the C string is the home base for both the major scale and the Mixolydian scale. Notice that the 7th fret, where we do our G Mixolydian scale, it's still called G. Depending on what shape I choose to do, if I'm doing the major shape, it'll be G major on the 7th fret. And if I do the Mixolydian shape, it will be the G major on that same fret. So the C string, those are the names of the notes for the scales, and then you have to decide what shape to apply. Then, once you get that, every jam, if you want to solo, you should try to find out where the major is and where the Mixolydian is. In the key of D, which we were talking about just now, the D major is what we use, 2nd fret, and the A Mixolydian on the 9th fret. Okay, questions. Hit me with them. I just explained it perfectly and there are no questions, or you're completely confused and you're ready to go.
Oh my God, light bulb moment. That was amazing. Seriously, I finally got it. Okay.
Fabulous. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm doing these things sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, this is the best explanation I've ever heard.
Thanks,
I'm
Bill.
serious.
Appreciate
I
that.
mean, everything, same thing, the aha moment. It's great.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. I mean, like, I will tell you this too. I failed all of this in college. Like, I barely scraped by. I had no idea what was going on. And it was only through teaching the ukulele and through teaching the same material via ukulele that I could get it, because, you know, the nice thing about the uke, there's 3 strings to memorize. So that is out of the way. Much like a lot of the music learning that we do on the ukulele, it's so concentrated that it makes it so much easier. You know, it's like, oh, I only have to learn 4 chords? No problem. Now I can play music. That's great. I can focus on music because everything is 4 chords. So as you pick up these scales, really master the major, master the Mixolydian, learn how to use them in conjunction, because every key that we jam in, you will use both, and that will generally cover your ukulele. So you will have a low range and a high range, depending on where you go. Case in point, let's perhaps just do one more here, and then we can do questions. We'll do a little bit of a hard song here, but the nice thing is, if you at least understand how to use the major scale, you will have something to do during this song. So if you don't want to play any chords, and you just want to noodle the whole time, gosh darn it, noodle away, I can't hear you anyway, it doesn't matter. You can practice your major scales and get really good at hearing what it sounds like. So we're gonna go back here to let's go back to our Word document. So now that we've kind of stuck at home what we're kind of learning, with the full cheat sheet. Again, the cheat sheet is a reference and not something you want to stare at. it's like Bird Box. Don't look directly at it; you'll get lost. Don't look into its eyes. It's so beautiful, all the scales all at once. Like you still want to take it in a little bit at a time. So however you can, again, isolate what's going on. That's important. Okay, so let's talk about the F scale. We're going to play Let's Stay Together because that's one of my favorites. Let's Stay Together. And it's in the key of F. And so the scales we will need are the F major and the C Mixolydian. All right, so this is one of the challenging things where you will have to remember what goes on when you do F, because if we look at our chart, you will know that the F starts on the 5th fret of the C string, and the C starts on the 0 fret of the C string. So this is kind of like a trick question, like what am I supposed to do? So the first thing is F major on the 5th fret. That's going to, start like this. We're going to start on fret 5. And what is the first note on the C string? This is kind of a trick question. Show me with your hands. Oh, I mean, like, show me the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to see if you guys got this. What number are we starting on, folks? This is like a trick question. There we go. Yes, we are starting on 5. That's correct. So we got 5. All right, what's the next number I should write here? My ring finger should be on 7. Very good. And then next, 5 again. And, all right, so here's what do we do? We're in a major scale. Is it the middle finger or is it the ring finger? Do you remember? It's the middle finger. Everybody show me which finger. Just kidding. It's a live broadcast. We can't do that. FCC's on us. All right, and so on. Index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. And keep saying that yourself. Index, ring, index, middle, pinky. In fact, I will write that below so that you have extra bonus. Index, ring, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. I rimperp. I used to memorize certain things by just making up a word. I rimperp. Now you'll remember. Okay, so that is the scale that will work. So if I'm gonna, let's actually put in the, here's the, let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad, come on me. So 5, 7. Those are your notes. F major, that's your high notes. Okay, keep rocking those for a second. Kind of get your bearings on that. All right, now we got C Mixolydian. So we kind of have to reverse engineer. Now, actually, the best way to do this, and this is important for your complete understanding of the situation. Here's our C major scale. And what must we do to turn it into Mixolydian? Take the 2. I'm watching, reading Linda's lips over here. Linda's getting the gold star over here. Linda, you're gonna take the 2 and turn it into what? Yeah, nailed it. See, we don't need to talk to each other. That's exactly right. So all you need to do is take the 7th note of a major scale and drop it. We call that flattening the note. And index ring, index middle pinky, index middle pinky. One thing to realize about the Mixolydian scale is the E string is always identical to the A string in a Mixolydian. So that will help you out. So there's your 2 scales. If you want to play low notes, O2. If you want to play high notes, index on 5. And again, just like we did before, if you feel like it's too many notes and you want to just go off, you play the outsides only. 8-5, 8-5, 7-5. If you played blues, you know you can bend the 7. I'll give you a bonus because this song's a little bit long. After the F major, we get into what's called the home plate, which is going to be 8, 10, and 11, and 12. Ooh, that's bad. 8, 10, 11, 12, and then 8, 10, and 9 in the middle. And those 5 notes we call power home plate. You can sort of go off on 8, 10, that 10 is very bendable because 11 is a playable note, so I can bend 10. That's the power home plate. There's only 5 notes, so, and 5 notes plus. And why not? Why not? It's Monday. Why not just go for it? Maybe I gotta put it somewhere else though. Let's drop it. Editing on the fly, brought to you by Ukulele. Power home plate. And this is the last blow your mind moment of today. When you get to 12, everything starts over. And in fact, every time you go to the end of these 3 scales, you start over. So now, I know this is kind of in reverse. The C Mixolydian's over here. If I wanted to, I could put it over there. But the C Mixolydian can also be brought up to the top, and that would be 12, 13, 15. 12, 13, 15. And 12, 14. And all that is taking these numbers and adding 12 to them to repeat them. So it's the same exact notes. Up the octave is what we call that. Same exact notes as C Mixolydian. Here, I'll do it this way. Drive the dagger home here. Same exact notes. All right, and those are your 4 scales to get you through this song. It's gonna play forever long, and if you want, you can just take a picture of that now and play it the whole time. In fact, I bet I can bring it into the other one. All right, so we're gonna end today's session with a little Let's Stay Together. And ladies and gentlemen, the nation is hurting right now, but if we remember these words from the Reverend Al Green, I think we'll be okay. Those words are to stay together. So look out for each other. Stay with each other. Look out for your neighbor. And let's do this one time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it in there. I know you guys are like, no, I was just getting it and you moved it. How could you do that? We're gonna do that. Let's. Sorry, it's super small. You guys can zoom in if you need to. All right, guys. From the top, G minor, A minor, G, and A. Let's stay together. F, I'm so in love with you. Whatever you wanna do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my life with you. Me saying since, baby, since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to, and I'll never be untrue. Ooh, baby, let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad. Be a saint, come on. Ooh, 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 yeah. Whether times are good or bad, be a saint. Come on now, why somebody? Why people gon' break up? Ooh, turn around and make up. I just can't see, 'cause you never do that to me. Oh, would you, baby? Just being around you is all I see. That's why I'm saying, baby, let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad. Be a saint, come on, please. Let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad. Take a solo, everybody. Yeah, get it. Nice. Yeah, work your way up the neck, you know. You can start in that low key and then go to the 5th fret. And if you're fancy, get all the way to the top. Home plate. Tommy's gonna get some of the action in one time. Hey, keep going. Take one more because I want to let the audience see your lovely faces. Remember what you're doing. You're going to lose it for a second, but I want everybody to see all of us jamming together. It's a lovely thing. It's what we do. Oh, yeah. Looking good, everybody. All right. G minor. Let's A minor. Let's stay together. G minor. Loving you whether times are good or bad. One more time. Come on. Let's stay together. Loving you whether three times are good or bad, and happy or sad. Times are good or bad, and happy or sad. Times are good or bad, and happy or sad. And one time, everybody. F. All right, all right. Unmute yourselves. Give yourselves a hand. Somebody scream. Woo, 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 woo. Brr, 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 brr. Oh, we did it. We did it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are all part of the movement now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for another wonderful Monday night. Again, this will be live on Facebook, or rather, the video will be available on Facebook right after the show. We'll get some question and answer until you guys want to eat dinner or go away. But we're gonna have I'm gonna try to take as many questions as you guys have, especially opening the floor to tech or anything like that. Yeah, thank you for doing this workshop with me. Hope you're enjoying yourselves in our quarantine sessions. We're gonna keep it going until someone tells us not to, and we're just gonna keep doing our thing. All right, so looks like a lot of questions, tech questions in here, and I'm just gonna keep it at this view. And in fact, let me see if I'm gonna change my mic so that I can relax a little bit. Can you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then I gotta activate this here. I think.
It's a little echoey,
Oh
but we
yeah.
can still hear you.
You know what? I'm gonna go back because I don't know what I'm doing right now, so I'm just gonna go back. Going too far. Again, don't.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
club.
I know. Yep. Indeed. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Just make sure everything looks good on my end over here. What? You're making glue? Aurelia's making glue. That's great. Oh yeah. I'm gonna move this up so I get more of me. All right. Fire away. Well, first in the chat, since everybody has got it. Thank you, everybody, for all your lovely comments in the chat box. Thank you guys for reminding me that it's Monday, reminding me that ukuleles can make a difference and will make a difference, and that we can spread this ukulele joy around. So thank you for, again, enabling me, and in turn, I hope I enable you guys and gals to do things on the ukulele as well. Okay, so a lot of just questions about OBS I'm getting. Okay, so I'll go, let's see. Okay, how did I get PDF in OBS? So yeah, if you're leading a jam, this is kind of important to be able to utilize things in OBS. So actually, I wonder, is it gonna be crazy meta if I try to do this for a Facebook crowd? Well, I gotta say, we only have a couple of people watching on Facebook right now, so I'm probably gonna say goodbye to Facebook right now, and then we'll continue the Q&A in OBS so that I can show people around. So Facebook, thank you all for watching. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves and one another. Spread the ukulele love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, so now it's just you and me, Zoomies. Cool. So I can stop the OBS. Yeah. Oh, I know. I will stop the recording.